Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for being part of this interesting page. My name is Brian, and today, of course, we are back with another update from the local scene. There's not, of course, a lot that we can, of course, add on to what happened. That is early this week when Uganda were beaten by Algeria 2-1. Of course, we all know that we expected as Ugandans to win the game. We didn't win it. So I'm just going to be giving you the aftermath as well as an update coming in from the latest news from the world of sports, especially from the 2027 preparations. You all know that Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania are going to be hosting the African Cup of Nations, the 2027 edition, and it is a joint pamoja bid, and we all know that we are all excited. Late last week, we all know that, of course, progress was undertaken. For all of you that are asking where we are, especially when it comes to the preparation for this tournament, Uganda is working so hard to see that all the stadia as well as all the things that are supposed to be done to see that this tournament is a success are really being undertaken. And one of the few things that is being undertaken is the structure changes that are coming in, especially in development of the stadia. And you all know that Akibwa Stadium, if you've been watching this channel, I told you that Akibwa Stadium, the preparations are already underway. Already one of the few steps that were undertaken, the contracts were signed, and every discussion that was supposed to be discussed with how remuneration as well as how the money will be given out was all discussed, and everything signed between Samco as well as Qatar Sports and the government of Uganda under the umbrella of the National Council of Sports and the Ministry of State for Sports. Now, on the other side, late last week, we saw Mrs. Mama Janet Museveni coming out and also doing herself, of course, good when it comes to Ugandan sport, and of course leading that delegation that signed a contract between them and MS Summa, a contract that is supposed to be kickstarting the work that they are supposed to be doing on the Hoima City Stadium. And it is something that, according to everything that was said and looking at the press releases and everything that came in from that discussion as well as that occasion, everything sounded so good. The words that she speaks out, the things that she says, are things that are some of the worries that we have as a nation, as human beings, because the general public is worried about the time limits. He talked about that. Let me just give you something about her statement, and then I'll be discussing a few things that came from there. And of course, she came out on her Twitter page and confirmed these discussions, and of course, as well as the contract signing. Following the wise counsel of the president, we embarked on securing the contractor to undertake the works for construction of the stadium in Hoima City. The first word of the wise counsel of the president, to me, it is a confirmation that the government as well as the president of Uganda is into this 100%. There's a person I was discussing with, and he said this will be a failure, and I told him the president of Uganda cannot allow the Minister of State for Sports as well as Education, not only being the Minister of State but the First Lady. He cannot allow her to fail in any way. So he will do anything. Of course, it's an official office, and we don't expect family things to have an involvement in this. But let me tell you this: there are things that are natural. If your wife takes on a position and you have all the resources and all the powers to help her in any way, you'll do that. And I think that President Yoweri Museveni will do anything to see that everything that the Minister of State for Sports as well as the other bodies that are under this ministry are really undertaking, every task they are going to be undertaking, they will see that it's going to be a success, because the First Lady is in charge, and we cannot have a First Lady who fails. I don't think that is going to be happening anytime now. So that is why I have high belief that this will be happening. And you all know that MS Summa was the first option when you look at all the people that were supposed to be constructing stadiums in the country. Even you see the contract signing, the difference between it and the one for Qatar Sports as well as the Samco company. This is done in State House. The meeting, of course, having discussions about the time frame. 18 months is what was said, that will have the stadium done by 2025. That is a December, where CAF will come in to inspect. And she came and of course also confirmed that they did some benchmarking, and in her statement she came and said these come highly recommended, and they have transformed the face of sports infrastructure with our friends and our neighbors in Rwanda, Senegal, as well as other countries across the world. Indeed, during the procurement process, the technical team, and the Ministry of Works and Transport took a benchmarking exercise to assess the suitability of the company. I'm glad to inform you that the report to me was very positive. The benchmarking was done. I came and in one of the programs back then, I told you about how the government and its representative went all the way to Rwanda toward the facilities. I remember that time we were having some games that were happening in Rwanda. I think there were something to do with Afro basketball. I don't remember very well where, of course, what games were they, but Uganda took that all steps of benchmarking and seeing what exactly was done. You remember that MS Summa is not only going to be constructing Hoima City Stadium, but they're also going to be constructing a a state-of-art indoor arena, basketball arena, as well as indoor games, just like tennis and all the other things that can happen. Tennis or volleyball and all the other indoor games that can be played in that indoor arena. It is something that they're going to be constructing. The Lugogo Arena, it's going to be commencing soon, but they need to be up to the game if you really want to give them a task that is really going to be undertaking a few months. 18 months is not a very long time, and we expect them to work day and night. And of course, the contract had a lot of things. I don't want to go into detail everything that was discussed, but when you look at what was talked about, and of course, one of the few worries of the Ugandans is substandard work, and the First Lady addressed that. She's expecting excellent work, and my only worry would be when we look at this project, some of us get excited and we want to see exactly what these guys are going to be doing. We all know, you watched the video of Amahoro Stadium that I posted on this account, and you could see how they did the Amahoro Stadium. It is a state of art. It's something that is good and appeasing to the eye. But when it comes to the architectural plans that were shown to us, I'm getting confused of the two, which one is really correct. There is one that was put on a banner that if you see the First Lady and all the other people seated, there is something that is put at the back that to me shows something to do with an idea of how the stadium would be looking. And if you look in detail, that looks like more of a Summa kind of architectural plan. Then there's one that I saw over the news, and you all know that UBC is an official the official government represented when it comes to media, and there's something they showed that to me, if that is the design, I'm very disappointed. I'll be very disappointed because it doesn't look like it has a wow factor. You have a lot of money that is going to be spent. The person that is going to be dealing with this has done something excellent just in our neighbors. I don't know why you would just go for something very basic like that, and it didn't excite me anymore. So I don't know exactly what is going to be what. To me, that is where the confusion comes from, and that is where the worry comes from. Who is really pushing these designs? I think the contractors need to be given it, at least they've been given ample time to really study the region, to really study the place, and study the trends that are happening elsewhere in the world. I expect the stadium to be a state of art. Even if it's a 20-seater, I expect it to be at least appealing and appeasing to the eye in one or another. So we are waiting to see the official designs and everything detailed to see what really is going to be constructed, but work is going to be commencing soon. The reason why everything was not being very fast and also not happening the way we expected it, because the discussions were still undergoing. The contracts are signed because everything has been agreed on, how the money will be put there, how they will be really working, and every detail was worked on. So now all is what we are waiting for is the groundbreaking, and we expect it to be something that will be done as soon as possible, as well as for the Akibwa Stadium. Then of course a lot of people will question us and say why MS Summa. We all know that Uganda still has strides and miles to really take to undertake such big projects. And we all know that the potential might be there, the demand might be there, and also the experience might be there, but it's not enough to really to do something in record time and give us something very substantial. And I also talked about this in my previous videos. I think UPDF have to really do some small benchmarking, especially in such facilities, before they just undertake. Even the renovation would be something that would add something unique to the look of the stadium. I don't know whether the outer bit of the stadium would be given a new facial kind of like upgrade. I don't know, but they needed to do something that would really, because a lot of people are complaining that the stadium everything at the stadium still looks old, especially when you look at the structures, despite the fact that it's been refurbished and it's a little bit cleaner now, but the designs, everything still looks old. And you also we also got an incident that happened on the game between Uganda and Algeria, where fans broke into the stadium, jumped over, and accessed the stadium without even going through the proper channels. It was a security threat to Ugandans as well as the officials and the teams that came in here, and I think we will be given a fine, if not of course banned for a few games hosting at home. So let us not be fans that are disrespectful. We all know that if this happens, it goes back to Uganda as a nation. So if you're doing your hooliganism, and even if there's limited access and the access to the stadium or the system has issues, we don't have to act like this doesn't happen elsewhere. We've seen scenarios whereby a stadium like Emirates Stadium, the Arsenal Stadium, has issues to do with tickets being rejected and fans coming out and buying tickets expensively and then coming and stopping at the gate and being told that your ticket is not valid. So these things happen because they are systems. We learn from the process, but it doesn't help when you come in as a fan and you jump into the stadium and beat the security. It really will not bring a big picture to the nation. I don't know whether these people are working for the good of the nation, or they are working to see that we are exposed and we are really rejected by these bodies for security concerns. So we need to really look at that as well. And also I really encourage the people that are working in these systems also to also have in mind such scenarios. Why would you have a failing systems and not have an alternative system that really can work on at least to fast track everything that has been done? So we need to, when these countries are preparing for such tournaments, they have plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D as well. So we need to have all those plans and understand that the nature of the people that we are dealing with do not understand systems. The nature of people we are dealing in do not understand formality. People want to have things there and then. They don't want to have things go through processes. So that is why when you see we tell them about contracts being signed and discussed, they think it's something that you say we are going to build a stadium, you just build a stadium. No, there's a lot that goes through that. Even you'll notice that before even Summa constructs that stadium, they need to get approval from international bodies. They need to write letters, they need to write documents, they need to go to those bodies, they need to certify all their plans, because they are not only working for Uganda, but they are working for the international federations like FIFA and all that. They need to get they need to be certified by those bodies for them to come and do work here, because that will already kind of like upgrade the levels if you really want to see those levels get better every single day that goes by. Thank you so much for being part of this show, and of course that was a little bit of a recap of what really happened last week, and also giving my opinion about the game of Uganda versus Algeria. I will not say too much. I was disappointed. Still, we lost in a manner that we've lost before against Algeria, counter-attacking. We need to really work on that. We are really excited when we attack. We leave ourselves exposed, so we need to work on that as a team. Then the other thing is we need to utilize our chances. We need to dominate and utilize our chances. We had chances, 3 or 4 chances to kill off this game. We didn't do so, and then we get punished in the end. But I'm not disappointed as a nation. The Cranes are improving every single day, and we expect them to improve even in the later days. But we need to be realistic and say we still have a way to go, far way to go, because we have a new coach. The systems are still working. Some players are just having their debuts on the national team, so we need at least time to have this thing gel a little bit more. So let's be patient. Let's give this team a little bit of time. There's a new face, there are new players and young players as well. So we need to really be patient with everything that happens in there. Thank you so much for being part of Brynetic Sports. My name is Brian. Stay safe, enjoy your day, and bye bye.